Hi guys, welcome back to Nairobi Legal Insights. In this video, I'm going to be simplifying the movable property security right in Kenya. For example, we know that not every single person has fixed assets such as property in form of land that can be used to secure loans in the bank. But to take care of SMEs and individuals who want access to financing, we have the MPSR, which allows a person to use a movable asset such as a motorbike, a car, it could be furniture, or even farm produce to be able to secure a loan. And as you can see, what the examples I've mentioned, those are movable assets. These are things you can move from one place to another. And so, if person A is looking for a loan from a bank or any other financial institution, or even getting money from another individual, how can they use their movable asset, which is a motorbike, to secure that loan? And the person that is giving that loan, how do they ensure that this motorbike that has been used as security is actually, there's a proper documentation to ensure that the lender and the borrower are all protected in this transaction where the security is a movable asset. So by the end of this video, you will have understood how the process of creating, perfecting, and enforcing a security right in a movable asset as far as the Kenyan context is concerned. Then, of course, I will be explaining the procedures that you can follow to be able to register a security right in a movable asset as a person who is actually lending money to another person. So this is the law that really deals with movable property within the Kenyan context, especially when that movable property is being used as security to get a loan. How is the borrower going to be protected? How is the lender going to be protected with this movable asset that is being used as security as far as the Kenyan laws are concerned? To fully understand movable property security rights, there are certain keywords that you should pay attention to. For example, what is a movable? A movable, just like the word suggests, it is an item or an asset. You can move from one place to another. For example, it can be a bicycle, it can be a car, it can be a tractor, it can even be items in a shop. We may have a person A who has a shop, and that shop is stocked with cement and all items that can be used for construction. And so those movable assets can actually be used within the context of MPSR to have access to credit or having access to a loan. So in this case, we may have person B, and this could be a finance institution, or it could even be an individual. This person can advance a loan to person A, but the security is going to be movable assets. So that is what really MPSR is all about. We're using a movable asset to secure a loan so that person B is protected and person A is able to get this money. Now, the other keyword to appreciate is what we call a security right. Now, once person B advances a loan to person A, then they're going to have a security right created in the property that belonged to person A. Now, once these two parties actually sign what we call a security agreement, this means that now person B is protected because it's this agreement. However, in the Kenyan context, you can take a step further to actually register a notice. So once you've signed this security agreement against a movable asset, you proceed and register a notice. And this process can be done on eCitizen. So for example, person A has secured a loan from person B using their motorbike. A security agreement has been entered into. Person B now has a security right in that motorbike. Person A has gotten the money, and now person B, who is actually lending the money, once this security agreement has been entered into and signed, can actually proceed to register a notice. And I will be explaining how that can be done on eCitizen, so that then now parties are fully protected. Because remember, this same movable asset could end up being used by person A to secure loans from several people. So how do you protect yourself as the person who is advancing this loan? By having a security agreement that is well signed and registering a notice, and this process can be done on eCitizen. So the other keywords that you need to appreciate is that when person B has actually given out a loan and there is a movable used as security, person B becomes a secured creditor. Now, the person who is using their asset, their movable asset, to secure this loan, as far as MPSR is concerned, becomes a grantor. So these are just technical words, but the message is simple. Then, of course, we are going to be looking at creation, perfection, and enforcement. So how is a security right created? How is it perfected so that both parties are protected? And should there be a breach? Should parties not honor their commitment? How can person B go and enforce their security right in the movable asset that was used to actually advance a loan to person A? So that is what we're going to be understanding as I simplify the movable property security rights within the Kenyan context. In Kenya, we have the Movable Property Security Rights Act 2017, and this is the law in place that protects the borrower and the lender, especially in instances where a movable asset has been used to secure a loan or some sort of financing. And to better appreciate this act, there are three key aspects that you should understand so that you know how to create, perfect, and enforce a security right. Now, if we have person A and person B, and I'm using this example for you to really understand what creation is, what perfection is, and what is enforcement. So once a security agreement has been entered into between person A and person B will have a security interest in that movable property that initially belonged to person A, who is a borrower. So that is what we call creation of a security right. Then the next part to that is what we call perfection. Now, person B has entered into a security agreement with person A. Once they proceed to register a notice, they are registering this security interest through a notice, and this can be done on eCitizen. Once that has been done, then we say there is perfection of a security right that has been done by person B. Lastly is what we call enforcement. Assuming person A used their farm produce, used their stock in their shop to secure a loan from person B, and this person B could be a financial institution, it could be another individual, just like me and you. Assuming that person A got money from person B using a movable asset as security, and now person A is defaulting on that loan, but they had paid a certain amount of money. Because procedures were followed, a security right was created, there was perfection by person B, then this person B can be able to actually enforce their security interest in the movable asset that belongs to person A. So basically, person B can be able to recover the balance of the loan by either going after the movable asset that belonged to person A. So that is what enforcement is all about. And of course, this already shows you that when you follow the regulations within the Movable Property Security Rights Act 2017, then you're protected, because you would have created a security interest in that asset before giving out a loan. You would have perfected that security right in that asset by, of course, proceeding to sign a security agreement and then registering a security interest with the government, doing that on eCitizen. Then in the event of any default along the way, then, of course, as you can see, you can be able to recover the balance of the loan by realizing the value in the collateral through a sale, meaning that you can go and sell the movable assets that belong to person A to recover your money. So that is the breakdown of the key three elements that constitute the Movable Property Security Rights Act of Kenya 2017. Some of the key sections to pay close attention to when it comes to the Movable Property Security Rights Act of Kenya include Section 4 that gives rise to a security agreement. So if we have person A and person B signing a security agreement that is transferring interest in a movable asset from person A to B, so that then person B becomes a secured creditor, then of course we must have the security agreement as per section 4. The other key important section is section 6 subsection 3 that provides for requirements of a security agreement. And some of the requirements are right here. Number 1, a security agreement must be in writing and signed by the grantor. So this person A, who is a grantor, must sign that agreement, and that agreement will be signed between this person A, who is a grantor, and the secured creditor. Meaning that if money is being given to someone verbally, then there will be a challenge of enforcement. So ensure that the security agreement is in writing. The other key thing is that within that agreement, you must identify the secured creditor and the grantor, meaning that all the details of the grantor, this is the one being given the money, and they're transferring their security interest in their property to person B. This secured creditor must have all their details well captured within the security agreement. Then, of course, Section 8 becomes very important because any collateral, any movable asset that is being used as security must be properly described so that if there is an issue of default and person B is going to be enforcing their security right, the collateral has to be well known, well described. So again, this section must be paid close attention to. And now the other important section within this specific act is section 9 subsection 1. So for example, we have person A who runs a wholesale shop selling timber and cement and all building materials, and we have person B. Now, as far as section 9 is concerned, a security right in an asset extends to its identifiable proceeds. What does this mean? So assuming person A used their movable assets within their shop as security to get a loan from person B, person A has been making some money from that shop and it's in the bank, and over time person A is defaulting. This means by the virtue of the security agreement that was signed, once person B wants to recover their money, they can come after the stock of person A to sell it and recover their money, and they can go after money that person A has been actually putting in the bank. Because remember, those are identifiable proceeds that are actually coming from this particular shop. So a security right in an asset extends to its identifiable proceeds. Once person B has signed the security agreement with person A, and person B has advanced a loan to person A, and this person B has a security right within this movable property of this person A, and there are some identifiable proceeds. In the event of a default, this person will be coming after this movable asset plus its identifiable proceeds, which could be money in a bank. So these are important sections. And the other key thing that you need to appreciate is that when we talk about movable assets, movable could be tangible or intangible. Tangible movables are things that you can touch. For example, a tractor, cement, farm produce. Those are things that can be used to secure a loan as far as MPSR is concerned. The intangible movables are things you can't touch. For example, intellectual property, things such as a copyright. You can't touch a copyright, but that intangible asset can also be used as security to actually secure a loan. In our next video, we are going to be looking at the process that one can follow to actually register a notice on eCitizen. So how do we move from theory to practice? And of course, in this specific video, I have explained the process of creation, perfection, and enforcement of a security right, provided some of the key sections within MPSR, and also highlighted that when we talk about movable assets, the idea here is to empower small business owners and individuals who do not have fixed assets such as land and houses to be able to access financing using the little they have in form of movable assets. And with this law, within the Kenyan context, all parties can be protected once, of course, M-Pesa is used to guide the transaction, to come up with a security agreement, and of course also registering a notice to ensure that indeed the person who gives their money to the other is also protected, and the person who actually gets this money to run their own business has their own rights and obligations within the context of that particular security agreement. Should you have any questions, do not hesitate to comment on this video or reach out on this email. And of course, you can also follow our LinkedIn page at Nairobi Legal Insights. Thank you so much, and see you next time.